Morning, boys and girls. Mr. Mullen back at you today, taking a step away from the physical activity to talk about another important issue of health, and that is nutrition. Okay? And I'm going to show you guys how to make one of my favorite meals. It's called a garbage plate, a staple of the Rochester area. But something special about this one is I'm going to do it completely with all plant-based products, all vegetables, potatoes, onions. I got some kale, some carrots, turnips. I got a ton of stuff up here, all rice and grains. But I'll show you. I'll take you through a step-by-step process, and then maybe your mom or dad can do the shopping for you and put this all together. Okay. First thing I'm gonna show you guys how to do. I've got some stuff chopped up already. I got a different bunch of different colored potatoes here. Okay. All right. You can't make a garbage plate without potatoes. All right. I'll just show you real quick how to chop up a potato. You can cut them any way you want. I just like to chop off both ends. Okay, like that. And you just cut them as thick or thin as you'd like. Like that. All right. I did that with every potato. Just set it aside right there. Okay. I'm going to start this frying pan. I'm going to get that nice and hot. Okay, we'll stir fry a little bit of vegetables. This garlic, a little piece of garlic like that. Okay, I like to chop that up nice and fine, like this. Now, if you happen to get a clove of garlic that still has the outside on it, you see like that, you got to peel it all the way down. All right. Sometimes it's hard to do it with your fingers, so cool trick I like to do is just put the side of your knife on top of it and just push down till you hear it crunch. Okay. And you should be able to just peel away that outer layer. Real nice and easy. There, like that. Chop that up. Alright. It's all nice and fine. Alright. Add it right to the frying pan. We'll get this place smelling nice real quick. Right now in this pot I got some rice simmering. Over here I got some lentils. Lentils are like beans, very high in protein, very good for you. I'll show you what we're going to do with those later. Okay. Right here I'm just getting a pot of water boiling, ready to put the potatoes in. Next thing I'm going to chop up is a turnip. Nice root vegetable packed with vitamins and minerals. I just chop off both ends like that so that I have two flat surfaces. All right. Cut it in half this way. All right. And I like to cut it long way like this. Nice and thin. These usually take a little bit longer to cook, so I cut them thin. I cut them again like that, into quarters. Okay, like so. There we go. We're going to add all of those right to the stir fry. If you want to, just add a little bit of water or vegetable broth just to get it going. Next, I'm going to chop up this kale. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to peel it right from the stalk. Just go a little bit at a time. The stalk's really chewy and hard. You can eat it, but it's not really fun to eat that way. I just take the edge of the knife and just go right down like that. And all the kale just comes right off like that. Throw away the stem. And do that for each one. Kale is one of the most nutrient-dense foods that you can eat, packed with vitamins and minerals. It counts as a green leafy vegetable. You should always strive for 5 servings of veggies a day. In this meal alone, I think we've got 5. So, if you want to save yourself some time, you can buy it already chopped up for you. You'll pay more, but it depends on how pressed for time you are. I like to stir fry the kale, that way it cooks down to a more manageable quantity. Just throw a handful on here at a time. And once that cooks down, I'll add a little bit more. Just add a little bit of water as you go, just to keep it steaming. Okay, we can add potatoes. Let your parents do this part for you. You don't want to get burned with boiling water. Let those guys go. Okay. Next, what I'll do is I have some flaxseed in here. All right, flaxseed's very high in healthy fat, unsaturated fat, and also a good source of protein. I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons of water to it. What's going to happen is it's going to turn into like a paste after a while. Helps bind things together. Just like that. Just set that to the side and just let it do its thing. Next, I'm just going to chop up and serve a raw onion. That's going to be the top of a garbage plate. Okay, you cannot do a garbage plate without onions, mustard, and hot sauce on top. Can't be done. All right. When you're cutting up an onion, all right, you don't want to cut through the root. Okay, if you cut through the root, that's going to be tier city, population U. But just chop the other end off like this. All right, like that. All right, that should give you a good chunk to work with so that you can peel the outer layer off. Okay, like that. All right. Now to do this, I'm going to cut this onion in half. I'm going to have to go through the root, okay? This is why it's important to keep your knives sharp. If you go straight through with a sharp knife, okay, you're not going to tear up that bad, okay? And just angle the tip down like this. Just make one clean cut straight through the middle, like that. All right. Now when you dice an onion, okay, I'm going to make a bunch of grooves in it this way, okay? Not too far. I don't want to cut into the root again, all right? I'm just going to make a bunch of grooves this way across. You look at it, there's these nice lines on the onion that you can follow, and just put the blade of the knife there, okay? Like that. Now, okay. Now I'm going to make two rows, okay? One towards the bottom and one towards the top like that. Again, not going all the way through. Just like that. There's one. And then two. Like that, okay? The onion's still intact, all right? But I've pretty much made just a bunch of horizontal and a bunch of vertical lines. So now, when I chop it, it all just comes into nice little cubes like this. There we go. And that should be all that I have left over. Is just the root. Toss that out. Okay. Okay, like so. I'm going to set this aside. Okay, like so. All right, and I'll save the other half of the onion for another meal later on. Let me stir these lentils. You guys are almost done. I should turn that off. Okay, I'm going to add some quinoa to the rice I have up here. Quinoa is another grain. Okay, really good for you, loaded with iron. See how much the kale is cooked down now? Okay. And I got these turnips nice and crispy and crunchy and a little on the burnt side. I love it that way. Put that in there. Like so. Alright, one thing I had forgotten to add was carrots earlier, so I'll do that with this batch of kale. Put some carrots in there. So, set you off to the side. How much I got left in there? Right. So here's what the quinoa or the lentils look like. Okay. Scoop them out into here. You can even cheat and just get them already canned. Like so. I'm going to add the flaxseed to the lentils like this. Like that. And then I'm also going to season it with steak seasoning. All right, this will be our meat substitute. Got lots of things going at once. You can buy instant rice if you'd like to. All this can help save you time in the long run. Like I bought just regular Wegmans brand wild rice like this. Okay, gotta boil it for about 35 minutes. And then you add the quinoa when there's about 15 minutes to go. Go. Like so. I'll just save the rest of that kale for another meal. We'll set that aside in the meantime. Okay. Just going to stir this up. Let me test these potatoes first. Potatoes are just about done. Hard thing is when everything starts finishing at the same time. That gets challenging. Let's see here. these before for the taters. I'll go back. Use my strainer, but it's in the dishwasher right now. Got one more. There we go. There we go. So. Tater's done. Rice and quinoa's almost there. I also have, I didn't show you this, but in the oven right now I have some beets that are baking. I set them for 45 minutes at 425. That was the first thing I did because it takes the longest. Again, you can buy them frozen or canned if you want to save time. Back to the flaxseed and the lentils. Just stir this up with the steak seasoning. It's going to be our meat substitute. I said substitute. It's not going to be exactly the same thing, but as I said, when you top it with onions, mustard, and hot sauce, you won't know the difference. That. Okay. Set that aside. Almost there. Okay. There are the beets. Again, another root vegetable. Potatoes, beets, turnips, onions, garlic, carrots, all come from a root. Let those cool down for a minute, then I'll chop them up the same way I did the potatoes. How do you know when quinoa is done? Well, it starts out, let's see here. I don't know if you can see it. If you look in there, I'll get a handful out for you. Okay. It starts out like that. As you boil it, the outer perimeter of it starts to spiral and peel off. That's how you know when it's done. Has just a couple more minutes. I can tell some of them are starting to spiral off the edge. Like so. All right. Let's get this out of the way. For another time. Actually, I could probably do those beets right now. And just cut it in half like so. Let me move this out of the way for you. Okay. cut it in half. I usually cut the other end off just to get 2 flat surfaces. And I just cut like this. We'll add this to our kale and turnips and carrots. So that's telling me that the rice and quinoa is just about done. Double check. Yeah, that's good. Just about there. Just kind of get rid of the little water that's still left over. Most of it just evaporates out. Sometimes if you don't measure accurately, then you get a little bit of extra water than what you need. Just let that sit to the side. Okay, so let's serve this up. See what it looks like. Now your traditional garbage plate always starts with your taters and whatever kind of pasta, usually macaroni. Okay, I substituted the macaroni for the rice and the quinoa. You can use macaroni if you want to. I have celiac, so I can't eat a lot of pasta. All right, unless it's gluten free. But we'll start with our base with the taters. Just scoop up what you want. So, add my rice and quinoa to it, like so. We'll get some turnips, some beets, some kale, not typically found in your garbage plates, but a healthy alternative nonetheless. Let me get some carrots in here too. Okay. That should be plenty right there. Okay. Next comes your meat sauce, which again, remember I use lentils and some flaxseed mixed with steak seasoning. Okay, again, save yourself all that time. You can just get lentils in a can. Same thing with a lot of vegetables you can get frozen. Add our meat sauce to the top, like so. Okay. Next comes that raw onion, like so. And then you cannot have a garbage plate without mustard and hot sauce. It can't be done. Secret ingredient. All right. There you have it. Final products right there. Except that's too neat for a garbage plate. You gotta mix it all up together. Mix it all up. That looks more like a garbage plate. All right. Now, if your parents did all the cooking, all right, You just run away after you're done eating. Make sure you help clean up. All right. So stay healthy, you guys. Wash your hands. Wash your vegetables. Wash everything before you start cooking it. Okay. Practice your social distancing. Let's get through this as quick as possible. All right. Have a good night, you guys.